Hello, it's Lucy here, and today at A&J we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of personal statements. Okay, so the first do is to be specific, and then the don't is to be vague. So, for instance, when I came to write my personal statement, I talked about this specific book and the specific areas of history I found interesting, and like the common theme. For instance, I really liked how, even though there were completely different areas, I liked how I was having to see like the personal bit of history and how people had dealt with things. And like the universal nature of history and the human story. So you want to be specific because it actually then, to the person reading it, it sounds convincing. Whereas if you're too vague, they can kind of question if you're actually interested in that subject. The other big do is evidence and explain yourself. You want to, this is kind of following on from the other point, you want to be able to say, I read this book, talk about it a little bit, what else you did. If you don't have stuff to back your points up, again, it doesn't sound very convincing. What you want to remember is you need to show your passion for your subject rather than simply stating that you're really passionate about history or biology or whatever subject you're applying for. It's much better to basically, throughout the course of your personal statement, show your passion through your evidence, explanation, etc., rather than go, I am super passionate about history or chemistry, blah, blah, blah. Big don't is to not have a proofreader. Make sure you read it through multiple times, and if you can, get someone else to look through it. Check for any spelling mistakes. Yes, spell check's a thing now, but even then there can be issues. Don't make silly grammar mistakes either. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but if it's something that an admissions officer will see and it's glaringly obvious, that will impact their view of you as a candidate. So don't let a simple spelling mistake be what stops you from getting into a university. The other big don't is to not have a convincing reason for why you want to study this subject at university and what you think you're going to achieve from studying at university. It could literally be as simple as you find this subject really interesting and want to study it for a little bit longer. You don't need to, at 17, when you're probably writing this, have your life planned out. But you do need to kind of explain like what you hope like a degree in chemistry will teach you or a degree in history will teach you. And again, if you don't have a career planned out, that's fine. If you do have a career planned out, don't just it can be fine that you would be like, I think this will be useful in getting me to this goal because of X, Y, Z. But don't just say, I think being an accountant will be a good job. You want to have a little bit more thought in what you're writing. They're aware that some people kind of at 17 might just be kind of following a path or doing what's simple because it's what their parents think they should do or whatever. But they want at this point and at that time in your life for their students to be a bit more engaged in this process than they're just kind of following a path out. So they're the main do's and don'ts. I hope that's been useful. As always, please comment below if you have any questions or thoughts. But that's it for now. Thank you.